downsized. I want to go back. I'm not through with this Obama business. Folks, this soundbite that we just played, I'll play it again here from January 25th in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Here, it is profound. President of the United States purposely destroying hope. Mr. Hope and Change tells the American people, the American middle class, hey, no reason to shoot high. We know you don't want to shoot high anyway. We know what it's going to take to satisfy. Here, listen to this again.
If you're willing to put in the work, the idea is that you should be able to raise a family and own a home, not go bankrupt because you got sick, because you've got some health insurance that helps you deal with those difficult times.
Stop this for a second. What a picture of life in the United States painted by this guy. What a desolate picture. What a cloudy, gray, raw, overcast October day this guy presents us. You're willing to put in the work. The idea is you ought to be able to raise a family and own a home, not go bankrupt because you get sick. And I ask again, who the hell does? How often does it happen that people go bankrupt from getting sick in this country? I'm sorry, this offends me. We have the best healthcare system the world has ever seen. It does not drive everybody into bankruptcy. Nobody wants you to think it will. He wants you so afraid of getting sick, so afraid of having to go to hospital, it could be the end of your financial life. Bankrupt. That's why you've got to support Obamacare. That's why you got to turn your life over to him. So make sure those big bad wolves out there who all want to kill you don't get away with it. Obama will save you. And you'll have your little 1,800 square foot house, your 2.8 kids, a white picket fence, a dog, a couple of electric cars, 48,000 hours to charge your damn things, able to drive 40 miles. They really want you on a mass transit, stupid little bus, going to your mass job where you're nothing but a number. You don't exist as a human being anymore. You fill in the blank for whatever the regime needs you to do, and you're either called a good worker or a bad worker. And that's all you want. You just don't want any more than that. You want to be able to send your kids away to college without going bankrupt. You want to put some money away for retirement without going bankrupt. That's all most people want. They don't have unrealistic ambitions. So give up your hope and give up your desire for the American dream and give up your dream, period. Give up your desire to make it big. Give up your ambition. It's outsized anyway. You don't have no business dreaming that big. Who do you think you are? So hope equals a 9-to-5 job. You arrive and get home on some form of mass transit. When you have to go to the grocery store, you get in your little electric car or whatever. Your house looks like everybody else's house. It's where everybody else's house happens to be. And if you do this the way Obama says, he promises you won't go bankrupt when you get sick. Or you won't go bankrupt when you send your kids to college. But why send your kids to college when this is all you get for it? What kind of hope is this? What kind of change is this? What kind of ambition is this from a guy who hasn't accomplished jack you-know-what in his life? In the real world, where you get up and go to work, this guy doesn't have a resume. Well, yeah, if you think everybody's poor, oppressed, and downtrodden, and every corporation is out to kill you, then yeah, I guess this dream looks pretty good. But sorry, we are not. Take your pick of a third world country, and we're not all Obama's brother living in a 6-by-9 foot hut. Now, this view that Obama just painted probably looked pretty good to Obango Oyango Hussein Obama, whatever his name is. But this is why the election is going to be about Barack Obama, because it's going to be about the future of the country, economic liberty, religious liberty, speech liberty. All of it's under assault from this guy and his party. He's not alone in this. That's all people want. They don't have unrealistic ambitions. And if you do, if you have unrealistic ambitions, if you want more than your 1,200 square foot little house, and if you want more than your 2.8 kids, and if you want more than your wife who goes to work and bosses you around every day, if you want more than that, then by golly, Jesus tells me to raise your taxes. If your dreams get too big, I'm going to do what Jesus told me to do and tax the ever-living hell out of you. I'm going to punish you for having visions that go way outside what your normal ambitions ought to be. 40 acres and a mule. That's what Obama's promising us. Folks don't have unrealistic ambitions. They believe if they work hard, they ought to be able to achieve a small measure of the American dream. Mr. Limbaugh, you know very well this is not what the president means. What does he mean, Mr. New Castrati? He simply means, Mr. Limbaugh, the small measure of the American dream is what it's at the very least, this is what people should be able to achieve by work. At the very least, that's what No, Mr. New Castrati, it sounds good. That's all he envisions for people. Look at his economic... You end up acquiring more than that, and you are the enemy. You get punished. He's going to tax that achievement right out of your back pocket and right out of your bank account. There won't be any achievement left. Now we move on. What's the next? Oh, this was Obama this morning in Washington at the White House, speaking about the importance of the agreement passed between Congress or by Congress to extend the payroll tax cut and unemployment insurance. Here's what he said.
Whenever Congress refuses to act, Joe and I, we're going to act. In the months to come, wherever we have an opportunity, we're going to take steps on our own to keep this economy moving. Because we've got a choice right now. We can either settle for a country where a few people are doing very well and everybody else is having to just struggle to get by, or we can build an economy where everybody gets a fair shot and everybody's doing their fair share and everybody is taking responsibility. And everybody's playing by the same set of rules. And that's the economy that I want.
Yeah, well, in a few months, pal, what you want isn't going to matter. That's the economy you want? Who are you? That's the economy you want, where everybody's equal? And you get to define equal? Don't forget what I told you yesterday, quoting Tocqueville. Americans in the early 1800s fought the perils of equality, not the perils of inequality. They fought the perils of equality. They knew policies like those prescribed by Obama would end the country as it was founded. And how about this picture that he paints of America? We can settle for a country where a few people are doing very well and everybody else is... That's not this country. It's not just a few people who do very well in this country. It is loads and loads of them who traditionally have done well in this country. And in many cases, speaking bluntly, the people that don't do well have only themselves to blame. And those who have no control over themselves are the ones we help. I don't care. I don't care what kind of trouble I'm in. I've been doing this 23 years. They can't get me in any more trouble than they tried to put me in now. What am I in trouble for now? I'm telling you, the people with this country, with the opportunity that is present in this country every day, that is unlimited, the only limits in this country on anybody's advancement is their own limitation that they place on themselves. The greatest obstacles that people face are those put in place by them until this guy came along, until the Democrat Party achieved prominence. But even now, we are not a country where just a very few are doing well and everybody else is just struggling and barely getting by. The people that are just struggling and barely getting by are the people who trusted him, the people who voted for him. The people sat around and waited for him to give them a new car, a new kitchen, a new house, a new yard, a new lawnmower, whatever in the stupid hell they wanted from him. Well, they're going to be sitting around waiting for the rest of their lives to get it because he doesn't have the power to give it to them. For him to sit here and redefine the American dream into such an ordinary, slipshod, mediocre type existence offends me as much as anything this man has ever said. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. His portrayal of this country is nowhere near accurate, past, present, or future. He hasn't the slightest idea. A guy dripping with resentment for this country is now in charge of it. That's the economy I want, and I'm going to get the economy. Joe and I, we're going to get the economy we want. We better pray they don't, folks.